Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and superhuman cyborgs, carrying gene derivatives of Primarchs eons past. Right, I'm here with my next squad to show you from the Dark Angel Space Marines Dark Vengeance box. It's been worked on and is complete. So this was the one that you saw as Squad WIP Work in Progress, number 1, Tactical Squad. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Squad Raphael. Boom. So here we go, Squad Raphael. Yar. 10 of them. So that's a tactical squad. You can tell they're a tactical squad because of the double red arrow here. And, ooh, look, number. Huh? Because on the Space Marine sprue, on the Space Marine transfer sheet, there's no number 4. How did that happen? Ooh. Well, we'll show you that in just a sec. So, here's my plasma guy. I'll show him to ya. As you can see here, the company mark here is 5th Company, which is controlled by Balthazar. And, yeah. You know, I really like picking out the detail on these packs. Just little things like that. Getting the plasma colour was kind of tricky. Fixing something that I was happy with, because I wanted it sort of dark at the bottom, but getting lighter and lighter at the top. So that's something I worked on until I could get something I was vaguely happy with. I don't think I'm monstrously happy, but I thought, you know, it's got to stop somewhere. It's got to stop there. Oh my god. I'm going to keep doing it over and over, and I'm going to go crazy. I mean, little touches like, even like the eyes are popped in with, what would it be? Mechrite red, that's the old red, so these days they call it Mephiston red, don't you? That's replaced Mechrite. So yeah, all the red parts on these bad boys are initially done in with that, and then the eyes would just be highlighted up with maybe like the next step, so just like dots slitted within the eye socket there, and a lot of the reds have been highlighted up and round. Don't know if the camera's any good to actually show you that, but I really think that that red against the green is such a beautiful contrast. I really do. I love the way that that they stand out like that. You can see that the basing style, you know, the continued urban, and you remember the debris I was on about. This is the piece from the darts stem bit. So, you know, ended up looking like a sort of industrial pipe type dealie. We have here Sergeant Raphael himself. This is the gun that I was working on, that I stuck into the ground, and I got it fixed in the end by gluing it down, and then I wanted to build a load of stone and stuff up around it. So what I ended up doing was taking some of the texture stuff and literally painting it in and around to sort of build up a consistency of it being really, really buried debris. And I think that's a great idea. If you are at all basing in this manner with debris and pieces, you can see here little grenades and things, if it will show. Another little piece of metal there as well underfoot. If you're painting in that fashion, then you should definitely feel free to, you know, grab a bit of that, pretty much whatever colour, if you're going to paint over it anyway, but, you know, grey if it's this, I suppose, to make your life simpler, and start whacking it on, because it's a nice consistency and it will go with your sand PVA gluing. The top section here, you can see white is the very final highlight, and I really wanted it much brighter than the robes because I wanted it to stand out. And I've pretty much kept it to the pictures that we see. inside the Dark Vengeance box. Again, another little plasma thing there, and the same effect. Really, just keeping it looking consistent. I've got a kind of pet hate on these plasmas. The bit that I've done blue here, the plasma stuff inside. When sometimes you see it just painted silver, and you think, well, yeah, all right, you could have it silver. You know, it could be covered, stability issues or whatever, but it's a bit. It feels like a missed opportunity, doesn't it? You want to get in there and do some crazy green or some crazy blue or something, yeah? That's kind of the fun, isn't it? Like in a first-person shooter. It's like, whoa, I've got the plasma gun now. And all the blue crap's coming out. And yeah, we love that. So, talking of plasma, hello. This is the heavy plasma guy of the 4th company, 5th company even, 4th squad Raphael. Yeah, massive backpack, and that was certainly something. This guy's pretty serious, you can see, and I've gone to the trouble of the metallic silver parts on the gun. Certain sections, like the tops of them here, to go in and pick those bits out, a different metallic colour, just to sort of pretty up the whole thing that bit more. So, I mean, the biggest challenge with painting this guy is just really trying to decide what's red and what's silver here. So you've got to keep staring at the picture over and over and over again, thinking, yep, okay, this bit's silver, now put it in, okay, this bit's silver. And the other thing that you're always in danger of forgetting is these little connector cords here, like between the bottom of the leg and the foot, because those are seemingly silver as well. So you find them there, and you find them at the joints of the arm where it goes into the body as well. These little silver cord things. But it's not consistent, it's not on every single model, but boy, he's a fierce proposition, isn't he? Obviously, don't forget inside all the backpacks as well. There's the tiny little metal cables to pick out in there. I don't know if it shows very well, but and of course on the belly as well, if you've exposed the belly. Now here's the thing: a lot of people say, do you know what? I like painting it all separate because you can get at it then. But the way I see it is, if I do that, right, I can't pretty much see the belly anyway, under the gun, so why do I really want to paint that? I mean, I'm just going to call that naturally in shadow now, so and be done with it. It's up to a gaming standard. You can see more of those metallic highlights on this sections of the gun here and here. Yeah. Just little bits that make it stand out. Now, I went for something unusual here, down at the bottom. Can you see this? Maybe. This is the top of the paintbrush I was on about. Right. So yeah, I did cut a load of bits off, splayed them all out, made them stand out with glue, so they've dried pretty rigid now, and painted the bottom of it. You maybe just about see silver, the bit that's going into the ground, so it's basically a cable that's torn up out of the ground somewhat, right? And it's torn open, ripped, and all of the actual wires inside the protective shell, the metal parts of the protective shell, they're all loose and spewing out. So I imagine them sort of spitting sort of electrical or whatever energy matter. So I've done them, painted them all like a silvery blue thing with white on the extreme tips of each one. And then, again, I don't know how well you can see it really with the camera being as it is, I've actually gone in onto the ground and around the pipe itself and tried to pick out where I believe the electric effect off the top of these wires would be causing reflections against the ground. Just to sort of experiment with a little bit on that stone there. See all these little places where I've purposely picked it in, bits of different shades of blue and off to white and such. We'll see how well the camera will show that up. So yeah, that is Squad Raphael. Now let me show you something else. So we're going to get back to the issue of the squad numbers on their right shoulders, on the tactical sign there. It says that whatever squad number they're in. So, yeah, I looked in the Dark Vengeance book, and Squad Raphael were indeed Squad 4. So I thought, oh, do you know what? How am I going to do that? There's no 4 on the Space Marine transfers. So I did a bit of research, and I found out, and I'm going to pass this news on to you, that you can find on Forge World, I'm sure most of you are aware of that website, a transfer kit specifically for the Dark Angels. It's very expensive, just for transfer being what it is. It's A4. You can see I've already cut a line of it out so far to use on these bad boys. And this has all the numbers. This is £10. A lot of the decals here are white, so you absolutely would not be able to appreciate them on camera. If you pop over to Forge World, you'll be able to see what we've got here, and we've got some names and stuff like Dark Angels, Zadokil, Lionel Johnson, Azrael, Belial, Dark Angels, Lionel Johnson again, Ramiel, Belian, Deathwing, Vindictus, and all this sort of wording. There's wording in white as well, and it's these tiny little numbers here you want. These ones, because they've got the numbers 1 through to 10, and then again 1 through to 10, and 10 each of them across. And then they've got bigger sizes of those, and then yet bigger sizes of those. So this is the size you want, because that's the perfect fit, and I mean it, for one of these here, these tactical squad sections on the shoulder pads. So I mean, oh yeah, and there's the guy's arm that was reaching up. That was quite hilarious to do. I've made the skin grey, so he's died in his cadaverous form there, sort of still reaching up out of the ground. I thought, oh, that's hideous, and the spaceman standing over him, oblivious, because he's just fighting over the dead and just getting on with it. Again, to bury that shoulder into the ground, using a load of the texture stuff. So yeah, remember, when you want to do transfers, it's a good idea to get hold of the 2 technical pots from the GW range. I mean, you may have another way of doing it, but if you are doing it through GW, then these will be your friends. I really love this Lamian medium. It's a nice matte coating, but yeah, you'd pop some Ard coat on, and then you'd apply the transfer to it, Ard coatified, and obviously, this is what I do when it dries, and then on goes the mat to seal it effectively. Although one guy in GW suggested putting another coat of this on again, but I've noticed if you're not careful, you can actually slide your own transfer off again, which is not very cool. So I tend to spray the whole things with Ard coat, so that when I before I put it on, I spray it with an Ard coat spray, and then I count that as the Ard coat that's on it, the gloss varnish, and then I whack the transfer on, and then I'll look at sort of doing the matte effect. But be careful, because if you do a matte spray and then you paint matte on over the let's just get this straight with you. If you've glossed and you try and seal it with a matte spray, very often the matte spray could actually take your transfer off, and you can lose a transfer. It's happened to me. So you really ought to be trying to seal it with matte. But I know that trying to paint the whole model like that's different, and the other, it's a hassle. So I just sprayed it and hoped for the best and tried to check, very much so, to see none of them have moved, because they get loose on you. Not cool. But really, you know, that Lamian medium there, you know, seals the deal and locks it in. So then pretty much just hope, don't play with it too much. You know, it's on. I'm doing what you shouldn't do. I'm playing with it. Yeah. Well, you know, that's my continued painting vlog. It's video, so one of those vlog things. And one last look at the squad, and I'll go out showing you these boys, and I'll see you at the next one where we will be meeting some Terminators.